Welcome back to This Week in New Genre Books. My name is Amelia, and from Locus Magazine, we're going to tell you all about the new science fiction, fantasy, horror, and related books being published the week of August 25th, 2025. There's no science fiction this week. Sometimes that happens. Stick around, and I'll tell you about a recent science fiction title. First up, horror, we have 5 new books this week. From Joshua Hull, we have debut novel 8114, out from Clash Books in paperback and ebook. This is a horror novel. Obscure podcaster Paul returns to his hometown after a friend commits suicide in Paul's childhood home. He finds himself facing hallucinatory hauntings from the past. From Freddie Kolsch, we have Empty Heaven, out from Union Square & Co. in hardcover ebook and audiobook. This is a young adult folk horror novel. Darian is haunted by a monster and summers with her friends in the idyllic village of Cusaquatch to escape. The townsfolk, however, worship a scarecrow, and the rituals only get weirder. From Tim Leben, we have Secret Lives of the Dead, out from Titan UK in paperback ebook and audiobook. This is a folk horror novel. Friends attempt to rob an abandoned country home. They discover a curse hanging over its antiques and jewelry. A man tied to the house through family legend goes to the same place to break a curse. From Nicole Lesperance, we have A Spell to Wake the Dead, out from Putnam in hardcover ebook and audio. This is a young adult horror novel. 2 girls in a Cape Cod town try casting a spell on the beach at night, only to find the body of a mutilated woman. Investigating using their spells and powers, they discover a string of historical murders. From Peter Roche, we have What the Dead Can Do, out from Crooked Lane in hardcover, paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This is a horror novel. 2-year-old Ethan is the only survivor of a plane crash. He goes to live with family friends in strained financial circumstances. His dead parents observe him, and his mother determines to kill the boy and reunite them all. Next up, fantasy, we have 10 books. From Ova Jiran, we have debut novel The Book of Heartbreak, out from Alcove in hardcover, paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This is a fantasy romance novel inspired by Middle Eastern legend. Sade will die if her heart is broken 5 times, and her mother's death provides the 4th. Trying to break the curse, she meets a compelling seer, but she can't risk getting her heart broken again. From Wesley Chu, we have The Art of Legend, out from Del Rey in hardcover, ebook, and audiobook. This is a fantasy novel 3rd in the War Arts Saga trilogy. Jian was a hero fated to kill the Eternal Khan, but the Khan died before he had the chance. Now, with a ragtag band, war on the horizon, and the Khan returning, he may have another chance. From Genevieve Cogman, we have Damned, out from Tor UK in hardcover, paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This is a fantasy novel 3rd in the Scarlet Revolution trilogy. In 1794, Eleanor is a mage and member of the League of the Scarlet Pimpernel. She must stage a daring rescue while keeping vampires from taking over England. From Jennifer Delaney, we have Tales of a Deadly Devotion, out from Golance in hardcover, paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This is a fantasy novel sequel to Tales of a Monstrous Heart, inspired by Jane Eyre. As demons escape into the world and mortals make incursions into Fey lands, Alma draws on her powers to help her friend Kat against the darkness. From Diva Fagan, we have House of Dusk, out from Daw in hardcover, ebook, and audiobook. This is a romantic epic fantasy novel. Sephra is a war criminal who retreats into life as a nun to atone, and Yeneris is an undercover assassin falling in love with the princess to whom she's a bodyguard, all in a war-torn realm with dead gods rising. From Emily Grimoire, we have Impractical Magic, out from Avon in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This is a fantasy romance novel. Witch Scarlet, whose mother runs a magical inn, must return to her hometown when its magic goes haywire. Her attempts to solve the problem backfires, and she needs Old Flame Nate for help. From R.F. Kuang, we have Katabasis, out from Harper Voyager US in hardcover, ebook, and audiobook. This is a fantasy novel. Alice, a magic student at Cambridge, travels to Hell with her rival Peter to get a recommendation from her advisor, killed in an accident that may be her fault. From Francesca May, we have This Vicious Hunger, out from Red Hook in hardcover, paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This is a gothic fantasy novel. A destitute widow accepts an offer to study botany at a university and becomes entranced with Olea, a young woman who tends the plants and is confined by an ailment to the garden. From L.E. Modesett Jr., we have Sub-Major's Challenge, out from Tor in hardcover, paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This is a fantasy novel 25th in the Saga of Recluse series. Al-Yakal, one of the Lancers of Sayador, emerges victorious in a border skirmish, but with his courtship thwarted, he's reassigned to a remote post and an escalating war. From Anthony Ryan, we have Born of an Iron Storm, out from Orbit US in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This is a fantasy novel second in the Age of Wrath series. With Escarlia's capital seized, Elvine is trapped in the new government, while Thera and her loyalist forces seek allies to retake the land. In our collections, anthologies, and nonfiction category, we have one new book this week. From editor Cynthia Lettich-Smith, we have Legendary Frybread Drive-In, Intertribal Stories, out from Heartdrum in hardcover, ebook, and audiobook. This is a fantasy anthology by Indigenous writers. Sandy June's magical food truck appears in Native communities throughout the country and provides the setting for 17 stories. Authors include Kawa Maho Adams, K.A. Cobell, Darcy Little Badger, and Brian Young. With no science fiction at hand this week, we'll revive our In Case You Missed It feature and take a look at The Fourth Consort by Edward Ashton, published by St. Martin's Press in hardcover. From the review by Russell Letson in Locus. I sometimes find myself wondering whether the reoccurrence of a motif or trope or setting in some slice of SF history represents a kind of collective anxiety dream. Certainly, the post-nuclear apocalypse stories that were common when I was first reading SF in the 1950s were not utterly disconnected from the duck and cover drills I recall. So what am I to make of space adventures in which humankind is not so much boldly going as getting dragged into interstellar conflicts and rivalries not of their making, winding up as junior partners or even indentured servants of overwhelmingly powerful aliens with opaque agendas? A decade or so ago, Greg Bear and Zachary Brown, a pen name for Karen Lord and Tobias Buckell, produced military SF, the War Dogs and Icarus Core series, respectively, in which humans are not the masters of the universe, but draftees in somebody else's interstellar wars. And recently, other variations of the trope have surfaced in Adrian Tchaikovsky's Final Architecture trilogy and James S.A. Corey's Captives War series. Now Edward Ashton has produced yet another variation in The Fourth Consort, which adds elements of first encounter, non-human psychology and social organization, and cross-species diplomacy to the mix. Interstellar politics have come to Earth in the form of Unity, one of two enormously advanced powers struggling for dominance in a Cold War that sometimes heats up into violent conflict. Unity's opponent is the Assembly, and both sides employ subordinate species to do the diplomatic and dirty military work of adding worlds to their networks of influence. A confrontation on a newly discovered potential client world leaves two Unity human operatives and an Assembly representative stranded in the middle of their competing negotiations with the local civilized species, the Minarchs. Don't leave yourself stranded in terms of your access to what's going on in genre fiction. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you're thinking about. Check out our bookshop.org link whenever you decide to buy some new books. Come see us at Locus Mag or at Locus Magazine on the socials. Locus is a monthly magazine where there's a lot more information than I can tell you here. Visit locusmag.com for book reviews, author interviews, news, and more. Locus is a 501c3 nonprofit. Thank you for spending your precious time with us. We'll see you next week with more new books.